guys. Hello. Welcome back to my channel. I am Liv. Thank you for joining me today. I'm going to do a quick flip of my Wonderland 222 in the A6 size. I did do some Christmassy decorating. I put a little, this is just a little tag that was from, my mom wrote on there. It was from several years ago, but I've saved it because I like this little doodad at the top, so it just sticks in there. And then just some stuff from Pinterest or Canva. I don't know, Margot from Christmas Vacation. We've already watched that twice now, and I'm not upset about it. And this was from Nesting with Grace. She's on Instagram, and she's got a gorgeous house. She's an interior decorator. And this guy's from Canva too. And then this is just a pretty town, I think in Austria or something. It looks very like storybook village. And this is from Seinfeld. George's family celebrates Festivus. Oh, and I did this. So she's like in her final form right now. I actually like glued this stuff down because I'm like, I'm not going to take it out. This is just how she's going to be for the rest of the year. So I'm loving her right now, honestly. Like, look at this side view, guys. Like, there's nothing so pleasing to me as like just a completely used notebook. It's just so satisfying. Yeah, so this says the only thing left to polish off now is the eggnog. I really miss the eggnog lattes at Starbucks. I'm not sure why they got rid of them, because that's where I got my eggnog from. This is also from Nesting with Grace. It's the same mantle, just scooched over a little bit. It looked really cozy. I wanted something that felt really cozy and warm, because it got really cold here really fast. Well, okay, California cold. But like, my aunt and I were talking about it. It was 100 degrees in October, the beginning of October. We had 100-degree days. By the end of October, or like early November, we're having frost warnings. So it dropped 70 degrees in a matter of a month, which just feels, my aunt said fall was 2.5 days, and it did feel like that. It's like today is a beautiful day. It's cold, but it's beautiful. It's really sunny. That's partly why I'm filming right now, because it's nice and sunny. Index, I am going back and okay, so I put a book list in here. I might have talked about this before. I always do this. I put a book list in my notebook and then I never look at it again. I might have put like, what page is that? 205. I probably wrote down a couple of books. I will never go back to that list. Nope, that's not it. That's not right. 205? I must have skipped. Yeah. I wrote 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 books on there. I read one of them, and I have not gone back to this ever again. So I did other stuff instead. I go back and fill in. The brown stuff is like stuff that I added later. So I was like, I know I'm not going to use this spread for anything, but I had an extra page over here. So I'm going to do 2025 goals here, and then quotes that I wanted for my planner. And then this I just had. Okay, sorry, my whole family, of course, has to come in when I'm filming. So spreads that I knew I wasn't going to fill in, I've gone back and used for other stuff. So, oops, oh, gosh. So these brown bits are like, there was an extra page. That's why I'm not gonna, well, I already did that in my journal for next year. I put a couple of collections, but I think they're ones that I'll actually use. I'm not gonna use a book list anymore, so. Year to glance, I just like to have that even though I don't really look at it. And this is the yearly tracker, which I use for health. I still love this. I'm doing the exact same version in my journal next year. I love it because I also like how I can see really clearly. Like, I use it to track my cycle, and I like that you can really clearly see where that happened. I actually need to update that. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. So, yeah, that's been going really well. I need to put the blotting paper in there now because, okay. Exercise tracker, this is the quarterly tracker. That's how it's been. So, I injured myself in August, and I've been having to make a lot more notes because I've been sort of easing back into things. And I've just been making more notes. I hurt my feet. So I am going to do, I had copied this exact same setup into my new journal for next year. I am switching it up though. I'm now going to use calendars that I drew out. Maybe I'll show you later, but sorry, I have some vellum over here that I'm messing up. Okay. So I really like this. I think this is this motivates me a lot. I'm not sure why this is cool, but like the routine tracker, like this doesn't work for me, but this does. I'm not sure what it is. I think it's that I'm writing down what I actually did instead of writing down what I want to do and then if I actually did it or not. Does that make sense? It's like there's something about this feels daunting to me. I don't know what it is. I have no answers here, but this works for me really well. This is actually my second year tracking my exercise. Last year I used a Commit 30 planner. It was way too much space. So actually it wasn't too much space. Last year I was going through my whole like Graves' disease thing. So I used it as like a general health and wellness tracker. But I really just didn't need that much space this year. So yeah, this month has been a little weird because my daughter and I both had colds and bad chest cold that was really, really bad. Okay. Now, I know I showed part of September before. Just make sure. Okay. So I'm going to just do these are going to be quick clips. I'm not going to talk a lot about things in the planner. The main thing is that I have started really logging a lot more in my planner. So I know you saw these weeks already. I think I set this one up with you. This was when I was still doing Zoom classes, so my schedule had a lot more on it, which I'm going to start doing again soon. But this was sort of the tail end of it for that segment. Yeah, I love how these pages look. These feel so homey and welcoming to me. And cozy. I love it. It's really simple too. I just use a piece of washi, excuse me, and a highlighter and my pen. I've been using a Pilot Kakuno with Colorverse Coffee Break ink. I need to refill her. She's almost done. But I think I'm going to switch. I think I'm going to use this one for... Oh, actually, I have it out. So this is the Colorverse one. I love this ink. It's a wonderful ink. Really great. And I've actually like made a dent in how much I've used in there. But I bought this one also because I had a sample of this. This is Alt Goldgrün by Rohrer and Klingner. Klinger? I don't know. Simone says this so beautifully. She's German. I don't know how to say it in my... I don't know how to say it. But it's a really beautiful green. It's called Old Gold Green. I think I'm going to switch to that for December because I have really liked this for fall. It's been fantastic. I'm still doing the monthly review. They already have this set up for you, and then I just separated into sections: things I'm reading, things I'm watching, successes, and things I heard. So that's like stuff that my family says that I think is funny, or stuff that like an inside joke that we had going on that month. The overview page, you can't see it, but it says overview under there. I never use it, so I either put a piece of vellum there. I think I did. Yeah, I do like a little collage thing. So here's October. Yeah, I don't like a super busy calendar, to be honest. And so I just started adding in the yoga focus for the week, and then when my daughter needs to take a lunch to school. And then, of course, birthdays and things like that. But in general, I keep it pretty slim. So yeah, these are all just notes about my day. Sometimes it's a prayer, sometimes it's a quote. We have some cats in our backyard that I've been following. And so I make notes about the cats. Notes about yoga that I'm doing. You know, just stuff that's going on in my day. What's happening. And I really like it. So I don't always use up all the space. Sometimes I leave space. Sometimes I fill up everything. I'm not trying to make myself use all the space in here. Just what happens, happens. Sometimes I'll make a list, stuff I needed to buy. The top there's like 3 lines up here at the top that I usually use for important stuff for the day. Yeah, see, so here I used a vellum that's what the overview page looks like. It's the same, it's just mirrored. I just don't need it for that. Again, success, kept all of it even when I wanted to quit. And yeah. Oh, I watched a lot of stand-up comedy. That Nate Bargatze, I think his name is, and Ali Wong. Totally opposite on the spectrum, but they were both hilarious. And then November, current month. All right. Yeah, I love how this page looks. Like, you know, I just love it. It's so, I ended up leaving that there just because I'm just loving my planner right now. I think I mentioned this in my last one, but it's like, I don't know, now she's got like everything in it, you know? This is like fully realized planner, you know? Doing what it's supposed to do, and I love her for it. It is just, it's beautiful, and I love it. So yeah, this week I was sick, but I did finish all of the assignments for my yoga teacher training and turn them in, and I just, well, we'll get to that in a minute, I guess. I also finished a book. My dad, it's really cute, you guys. My mom and I used to read a book together. One of us would pick a book, and we would read the book together and then talk about it when we talked on the phone. We talked on the phone in the morning and at night. So we had a lot to talk about. But when she passed away this past year, Dad was like, hey, actually, what was it? Dad and I both read a book together that he had recommended to me, and I was like, I'm going to read it. Mountains of the Moon, actually. And we loved it. Both of us really enjoyed it. So after, he was like, you know, if you ever find a book that you think I might like too, let me know and we can read it together. And it's so cute because he's trying to do a book club like Mom did, and I think that's really adorable. So I found a book series that sounded really interesting, the Southern Reach series. The Southern Reach trilogy by Jeff Vandermeer. And we just finished Annihilation. We're currently reading Authority. So this was like, I was just looking for the first book, but this was a hardcover for $20 with the whole series in it. And so I was like, you know, again, book math, I saved money by buying all of them together. But then, so we read the first book, and it was like, kept us interested the whole entire time. And then at the end, he did not give us any answers about anything that was happening in the book, which was really annoying. Like my dad said, you can throw all kinds of weird stuff at us, that's fine, but you have to kind of explain it. And instead, we got no explanations. And I told my dad, if you don't want to keep reading it, I completely understand. But I already had the second book. I bought the whole trilogy, so I was like, I'm going to read it just to see. So he's in it with me. And again, it's keeping us interested, but I'm like, he better explain some stuff by the end of this book, or I have lost all faith in him. Jeff Vandermeer. But yeah, so that's been fun. This was last week. I've talked about it a little bit before, but I've noticed this year with myself that I don't do well with a huge to-do list. That makes me feel anxious and like I failed already from the start. Like I don't like it. So I have been doing stuff more like I'll do a very short to-do list, or I will write the list after I've already done the thing. So a lot of times that happens. If you see a longer list, it's usually because I already did the thing and I crossed it off after the fact, which is still good for you. It's still good for your, what's the word? Not melatonin. Dopamine, right? It's good for your dopamine. Serotonin, that's the one I was thinking of. So also, I try not to bog myself down with like a ton of things planned ahead. I think I showed, did I do this week with you guys? Or was it the week before? I think I planned this one. Actually, I don't know. I don't know which one I planned with you. But at the beginning of the week, I literally just have this stuff up here. That is it. I don't have anything planned out that I like need to get done on this day or anything like that. But this week I did want to set up my Christmas tree because it's, like I said, it suddenly got cold and it was like, let's just do it. What the heck? So I didn't want to write down stuff on the day and then not do it and then feel bad about it the next day. So I just wrote it on a Post-it, a loose plan that I thought was actually feasible. And that's another thing that I've learned this year. Like, feasibly, I can get done like 3 or 4 extra things a day. You know what I mean? Like, as a parent and just as a grown-up, right? You have things that you have to do every day no matter what. And I don't write all those things down, but I can do extra things sometimes, you know, or I don't know. I still write laundry down because it's like, that's a thing that I do that takes up a huge amount of time in my day. I'm going to write it down and cross it off because it makes me feel good, you know? So, yeah, a realistic to-do list helps and not a huge, long to-do list. It feels good to write a list. It does, but I don't really like to look at it later. And this is my November review. I need to write some stuff in here. I haven't done that yet, but yeah, my successes. This actually helps a lot, guys, to think about things that went right. That was one of my teachers in my yoga teacher training was like, think about things like you have at the end of the day, write a list of 5 things that went right. And I think that's a really good idea. So that's part of where this came from. Like, what happened this month that went really well? And so one of them is I figured out how to make tables with different size columns and pages. A true feat. I was so proud of myself, guys. And it took a while. I can do an L-sit now. My husband bought these parallel bars. He started doing calisthenics a couple months ago, 2 months ago. And at first I was like, it seemed impossible. You got to sit on the floor with your legs extended out in front of you and to lift your feet up off the floor. It sounds impossible. At first I was like, I'm not going to be able to do that. I couldn't even get my brain to think about how to do that. But I've been working on it and I can do it now and it's pretty freaking awesome. Oh, I also printed vellum successfully. I figured it out. I think I asked about this in another video. If you're watching this and you've had the same problem, you need to let the vellum lay flat until it dries completely, and then it won't do this annoying curl thing. Well, that's what I've discovered from this year, because I printed out some. I really liked this, so I'm going to try this in my next year's. These are some turkeys. This will be for November next year. But, yeah, it worked much better. So I'm going to use vellums next year, too, to separate things out. And then I'll show you this week. This is December. In this planner, they put this week in December for some reason. I'm not sure why. So this is this week. And guys, yesterday I got my certificate. I completed my yoga teacher training, so I can now officially teach yoga, which I'm excited and nervous about a little bit. So next week I'm going to take some classes at the local studio. There's a studio that's like 5 minutes away from our house, and see if I like it there. And they have some like a community program for new teachers so that you can teach and like get practice teaching, and then if they like you, they'll give you a job. So, you know, that's kind of what I'm shooting for. We'll see. I don't know. I'm going to be open to it and see what happens. In the back, yeah, I don't know. I'm doing my gratitude back here. I think I've shown all that before, though. I have my Christmas list, what I'm going to give people. I like to do this every year, too. And then, so I also mapped out all of my gratitude pages for the year. And I have, so this is my last December expenses. This is going to be an appreciation page for my other dog, Cadence, because I showed my daughter the 2 like tribute pages I did for our 2 dogs that passed away this year. And she was like, well, where's Cadence's page? And I was like, well, that's just for the dogs that passed away. And she's like, I think Cadence needs her own page. So Cadence will have her own page here. I just need to print out some pictures and do a cadence appreciation page. But these are the only 2 blank pages left in my notebook now. So this was, yeah, back here I have contacts. I'm not going to show that page at all. And then pen testing pages. This was just a bunch of extra washi that I had. Not washi. This was from my journal. For next year I made a thingamajig and pen test page. This is like washi bits. I like this a lot. I'm going to do this again next year because it's just kind of a fun little page back there. And I'm still going in this little notebook. This is one of the Twin notebooks, and this is just filled with affirmations right now. Actually, so it did have some notes about yoga class, but I'm probably not going to do that next year. So I signed up for the next section of the yoga teacher training. Hold on one moment. Okay, sorry. All right, so let me see here. So this was my first notebook. Let's see. This was my first notebook for yoga teacher training, just completely filled in. These were just Paper Penguin Co. standard size inserts that I had, and they're made out of the good old stuff, the TRP, so I used this for just because I had it, and it was nice. I wanted something kind of nice that would make me like to take notes. So those 2 were from this past section. I also have these. I showed this one on the channel. This is the Splendor Gel paper. I need to start using this because it was nice paper. If you recall. I actually still have this inked. I actually really like this ink. Shirakashi by Sailor. So there's that one. And then I also have this, which is 68 GSM. I think it's the Sanzin, but I don't know. It might be the new. So I learned from See Amy Draw on Instagram how to say that paper correctly, and it's Tomoe. I hope I'm saying it correctly. I'm going to try really hard to say it correctly. So this is the 68 GSM Tomoe river paper. So these 2 I'm also going to use. But when I finished my class and signed up for the next section, I bought myself a present. And it is this, the Sterling Ink ginormous notebook. It's like 518 pages. Something like that. And it's really pretty. I don't love the colors. Like, maybe it's just me, but like a lot of these planner companies lately, like even Wonderland 222, I didn't like any of their colors this year. Like mine, I don't know. Well, let's see if I can show you this. Let's take her out of the cover. It's that berry, some leather fuzz, but it's the berry color. I don't know, hope that is showing. Yeah, like it's a really nice saturated color, you know? But like, I don't know, this year they're all muted, like muted neutrals, which I get. Some people, you know, but like, what about the people that like bright colors? Yeah, so my favorite Hobonichi Weeks Mega was the bright yellow sunshine one, and I have been tempted to buy that one every year since, but, so anyway, so this is the Sterling Ink Mega standard size notebook. There's a sticker on there. I have to attend 45 hours of Zoom calls for this section, and then there's going to be some like, you know, I'll put like administrative stuff here, like, should I do an index? There's this one page, and then it starts being numbered here on this page, so like, I guess I could use this as an index. So 50 down, no, that wouldn't be enough space. Even if I cut it in 2, that would only be 102 sections, and there's 500 pages in here. But listen to this. At first the pages kind of stuck together, and they made this really nice. Isn't that nice? I love that. So this, I believe, is the Sanzin paper. So I'm excited to use it because I love a fat notebook. And so this should hold my entire class instead of doing 2 like this. I'll just have 1. So all of this is housed in a Webster's Pages Traveler's Notebook. I bought this a long time ago and never really used it as a traveler's notebook, but I do really enjoy it. Oh, I need to put some of those page flags in here. What's this? Oh, these are, I don't like those. I had some extra somewhere. These? Oh yeah, let's stick these in here to mark some tabs and stuff. So, yeah, I just really like this cover, and I never used it. It's Webster's Pages. They're unfortunately out of business now, but I thought their covers were really cute. So that's why I had these extras, because I thought I would eventually use this. And now here we are. And I like it that it's polyurethane too, so I can wipe it off, theoretically. So yeah, all of this isn't going to fit in here at once, but it's not just a standard, it's like a standard wide size. So it's got everything in there. Okay, sorry, I got off a little bit off subject there with the yoga stuff, but yeah, so that's where I am right now in my notebook. I'm debating on whether I want to set up all of December right now. I have some, but I don't have my pen ready. I don't know. So yeah, I'll be back hopefully. I will definitely do a full flip through at the end of December or early January, so you can see all of the goodness in here. Oh, it's just so satisfying, this side view. Love it. All right, thanks for hanging out with me, you guys, and I hope you have a happy Thanksgiving if you're in the US, and otherwise just have a great weekend. Bye.